Hello and welcome, I'm Liam, Music Reviewer, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas. This is the final Christmas cracker. This has been a lot of fun to make, and I won't keep you too long so you can actually go off and do something a bit more eventful on a day like this. And what else am I going to talk about than Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly? This has been a bit my favourite albums, and it had to be sort of a biggie. And I think pretty much 99% of music critics will agree that this is just one of the best albums to ever be made. Much like a Trust Exhibition, I don't think it's going to be too long until the title of classic can be applied to a record like this. I think it's so surreal. The fact that this came out only 3 years after Good Kid, Mad City, another album that I think is going to get hit the same sort of lifelong acclaim in terms of being called like a classic or that. And I do think it's interesting also how Good Kid, Mad City had the whole narrative of being sort of like a film with that story, whereas To Pimp a Butterfly is obviously more just kind of like actual poetry, and the fact that these are quite, I'd like to say, grandiose concepts, how they're kind of fleshed out and how Kendrick managed to go about doing it, and having those back to back. Yeah, there's no surprise why both projects managed to get acclaim, just not because of the fact that he managed to do both of those things, but the fact that he did it so well. It might be why people felt a bit sort of disappointed by Damn, not that that was the only reason, but maybe because it wasn't so big in what it was trying to do, even though I still think that's a good album. But to talk about To Pimp a Butterfly exclusively here, I like a lot of what it talks about and how it goes about doing. So I've already talked about the track You, that talks about Kendrick's mental health. I think it does it pretty well. I think it does it quite hauntingly, and it does feel just intimate in the sort of in a different sort of sense, because intimate is usually to do with like kind of like physical expression, and usually positive things, but this is more kind of like you're hearing a conversation that you really shouldn't and you can't kind of keep your gaze away from. There's also the track I, which is I guess is sort of the flip side of the coin. It kind of brings in this whole theme about self-love, and I can't deny that it gets me really happy whenever I hear it, especially the fact that it's like a live recording at a gig, which I think gives it a whole new lease of life, even though I do think the studio version was quite solid, and I like going back to that every now and again just to like remind myself what it used to be like. Another single from this album would be The Blacker the Berry, which I can't remember if it came out late 2014 or early 2015, but regardless of when it came out, it's still a very dark, bleak track that is probably the most on the nose about race, and it just feels almost suffocating with how much tension, with how much rage is fueling Kendrick. And just so many quotable lines on here, like I'm the biggest hypocrite of 2015. Just one of the better tracks on this album, and comes around about the end of it. Speaking of the end of it, Mortal Man goes on for about 10 minutes, I think it is, and just what a closer that is. I don't think I'd ever listened to it out with the context of the album, but I think in terms of how it wraps everything up, especially an interview with Tupac of all people, I really remember that kind of throwing me off at first because it seemed so absurd, but it makes sense. It makes sense. There is that line about Michael Jackson, which I'm still not sure what I make of that. But a very good closer. And then there's just, you could talk about every track here in great depth. King Kunta is the one that always gets played at clubs and that, and you can't really blame it. Just this album in general, the sound that it's going for can be so soothing. It can get you really amped up. It can chill you at times. It's like, this is probably an album that I don't want to credit it for it, but when it comes to jazz rap, it seems to be the one that's kind of like either reignited the whole trend, because there's been so many records over the past few years, but after this came out, that are really trying to go for it. But I think that Kendrick pretty much did it perfectly first time around. Like I said, there's plenty of other tracks that I could get into talking about. King Kunta is the one that gets you all amped up. These Walls just a really, like, again, really explicit, intimate track. And just I could go into that depth with all of them. Hood Politics is another one that I really like, that I don't know if folk put it really low down when they try and like say what their favourite tracks are and all that, but I think it's really, really nice. Really nice in terms of, again, how it talks about race and politics in a way that doesn't sacrifice any sort of energy to really talk about these hard pressing issues. But yeah, that's really all I want to say about To Pimp a Butterfly for now, without going on for too long. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you if you've managed to watch every Christmas cracker. I might try and do something akin to this next year. It was a lot of fun to make, albeit pretty stressful. But this will be the penultimate video of 2018, I think. Anyway, might be the final one actually. Not really sure how I'm gonna go about doing the rest of my schedule for this year. But January, there's gonna be a lot of videos, a lot of lists. So expect best songs, best albums, and some other miscellaneous lists. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So stick around. And if you've found this channel via this series, which I know quite a few of you have, I hope you'll stick around as well, because yeah, I'm very appreciative of all of you guys. But anyway, I'm going to dip now, so enjoy the rest of your day, whether you've already had your dinner or not, and I hope you got what you wanted. Yeah, so see you guys later on, and as always, stay safe, stay hydrated.